Enslavers and colonizers must right the wrongs of the past, pay their debts and settle the accounts.
We Africans and people of African descent claim for reparation and repatriation.
Even CARICOM and the government of Jamaica have said, reparation time come. Get up, get up.
Self-determination is an inalienable right of the people in non-self-governing territories, in conformity with the Charter of the United Nations and with General Assembly Resolution 1514-15. From my perspective, political independence is the right of all non-independent territories, whatever they are called by the administering power, overseas departments, non-incorporated territories, internally self-governing. All right, we're back, and we're on this topic of decolonization, and we're featuring the Dutch Caribbean, and we have Mr. James Finies. Do we have James? Hi, James. Hello.
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
Hi, Professor Stefan. How are you?
Great, and it was nice to be in your e-conversation last week, Sunday. Thanks very much for having invited me. And I was very glad to meet, so many political activists. And you call yourself a political activist, right?
No, they call me like that.
Oh, they call you. What do you call yourself?
Yes.
What do you call yourself?
I was trying to get a solution for our problems, issues that all the politicians on the islands and leaders tell me it's not possible anymore. So I said there should be a way, because I won't accept that this will continue. What will happen with us in the future? They said, don't worry, the future maybe it will change. I said, no, I have to look for a solution. So when I started fighting, and then I think when we went to United Nations, then they said, you are a human rights activist. I said, okay, thank you for the I don't know.
But how do you self-define? How do you define yourself? What do you say you are?
Yes. It's a nice question.
Oh, okay.
Often, so you make me think, so it's nice to...
All right. Well, all right. Yeah. Think about that.
No, I can answer it. I can answer it quickly. I think I want to see good for everyone. Mm-hmm. I only want to solve problems for everyone who's around me, have issues. That's what's part of my life and job, to solve problems.
Okay.
Look for issues. I was a banker. I was a professional banker, so that was my daily job, to write solutions for every issue of people.
All right.
That's
good enough.
Normal life.
That's good enough.
Yes.
So, all right. So last week we were talking about the situation in Bonaire. How is Bonaire governed? Explain to our listeners and viewers.
Sorry, can you ask me again?
No, Bonaire. What is this? What is the political status of Bonaire? How is Bonaire governed?
Okay, Bonaire is governed from The Hague.
Directly from The Hague.
Yes, and we elect a government in Bonaire, but the government will elect has no power. They have no power to take decisions that affect us, to help us in anything. And they don't have a budget. So all our tax money is being collected by The Hague and controlled by The Hague, and they give them some kind of budget to rule, pay their salaries and small things on the island. So to understand, from a budget, we pay over 160 million a year on taxes, and they give us about 20 million to run the government. And that is since 2010. Before that, it was different. But so that is what happened. And we don't have our let's say, our representatives we elect, and even us don't have any. They don't give us accountability to that. So we can ask questions about what they do with our money. We can question. They don't give accountability. So that. We have no representation in any institution, government institution, to request any information that, and either to say anything for us or decide anything for us. So this is I explained a very short thing, but
yes.
More.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
No, but that's good enough. Now, so tell me, you suggest that this has changed. What was this situation before? This is a new thing? When did you have this particular political association? What was it like before?
Before we had, it did happen on October 10, 2010.
Uh-huh.
before that, we were part of the Netherlands Antilles. The Netherlands Antilles was a country with far advanced autonomy. They had then a central government, who comprised of 5 islands, Netherlands Antilles Islands. And from our island, we had then 3 representatives directly in the Antillean Council that was about 22 members from our small island. We had 3 members inside that as a part of it, and we had a minister as an island then, and we had state secretary as an island. And on our island, we had a local government that we elected, and the local government had all the responsibilities on the island. They take decisions, make laws, and everything. And central laws that we make on the central level, we were part of that decision-making process, and also we had a vote. There are 3 votes in that, so we had some far-fetched democracy before that. But on 2010, all that disappeared. We don't have no democratic decision-making power at any level anymore. That is our situation.
What's the population of Bonaire?
What is it? At the time, it was
the population.
10,000. At the time, before that, it was around 10,000, reaching 10,000, 12,000. Now it's 20,000, and it's 20,000 in 10 years.
20,000 in 10 years.
Yeah. Yes, and that is mainly immigrating, Dutch Europeans and us. His psyche, I had a very good picture about that. He researched it too. He said about 7,000 of our islanders left, and 10,000 come from the other side. Actually, our population is being replaced by the European Dutch. Yes.
So these are people from Holland, from the Netherlands, who are coming now to settle because they have, you have less say and they're more like a colony. You're more like a colony now.
Yes.
Oh wow.
Yes, we are a full-fledged colony. I wasn't like it's full-fledged because they come. It's not only the democratic power that we lost, but we lost also the control of our demographics, meaning that they come and we become a minority. Yes, we become a minority within 10 years. We have less than 40% of the population now.
So,
yes.
So on the ground, how is this playing out? Is there an increase in racial discrimination? Is there a situation where most of the jobs, the high-powered jobs, are taken over by expatriates? Yeah. Well, they wouldn't call themselves expatriates. They'll say it's there for them place. Sorry, you don't understand Jamaican language. Sorry. They'll say they have a right to be there.
They made a law that it can. Before that, we have the protection on immigration but then they take the open immigration, and that means not only that how it play out. This means they took all the positions now. They took all the islanders who are in position and replacement them. That is one field. The businesses have been also destroyed. So the business sector is theirs, and also they raised taxes and also keep taxes back and give them all taxes in one time, so nobody could handle that. So everything went bankrupt, lose land, lose everything. So it was a destruction completely of our local economy and a takeover. And how that works too, give an example, how it works, yes, in some kind of segregation, kind of apartheid, I will call it, because that is a word I use as an activist, but that is real apartheid. It's institutionalized because what they do, they recruit them from Europe to come to the island. They give them so much incentives, meaning to a lot of incentives. They tax reliefs, they give them housing allowance, they give them travel allowance, they give them everything that they come to the island and with the kids, because they come with young families and kids and pregnant, etc. And to have an example, what I'm talking about is, for example, I call it a school teacher on Bonaire, because they replace the school system to their system now. So all of them migrate to Bonaire. That's what they're doing. So they migrate with the kids, because everyone wants a good future for the kids. So they come with the kids because the system is able to Holland. But the idea is that one just simple school teacher come and they get so much benefits and privileges that they can live in a house with a swimming pool, and our own teachers that have been forced out of the system living in public housing.
All right, hold the line a bit. That's when we come back. Tell me about what you're trying to do now to change the situation. I have to take this break, but I'll be right back. Stay on the line, please, okay?
Okay.
Soon come back. Welcome back. Mr. Finies, are you still with us here? Okay. So, is the Dutch part of St. Martin in the same situation as Bonaire? No? Do you know?
No, they have a different constitutional structure than us because they remain with more autonomy. They remain more autonomy than us. They are 100% ruled. They have a parliament, and they still have a parliament from themselves and ministers and things like that. But at the end, the Dutch still take they have a power to overrule a decision of them if they think it's not fitted. But we are far below the level of autonomy they have. So
what about Curacao?
The same as St. Martin and Aruba. Those three have actually they maintain a lot of their autonomy.
I
still
see.
Up to now with the COVID. The COVID. COVID, the Dutch forced them into another situation.
Saba, St. Barthélemy?
Yeah, Saba and St. Eustatius and Bonaire are the three smaller islands that were with the constitutional changes forced into annexation.
I see.
It was a illegal annexation on our part because our people rejected the status we're in overwhelmingly in the referendum. So we are in a situation on the power, not on the wish of the people. So it's not a legal constitutional court in our view.
So really it's only Suriname that is independent of the Dutch colonies?
Yes. It is the only one who managed to get out become independent at the time in the 70s. Yes, right.
Before I ask you the way forward, tell me if the people of Bonaire, St. Martin, and so on, do you have free travel to Holland? To the Netherlands?
No.
No?
Free travel in what sense?
Meaning you don't have to have visa and all that?
No, we don't need to have visa. We have a same passport for that. Yeah, so you have the same passport.
So you have a Dutch passport. You are like, you could just take a plane and go to the Netherlands. You can settle there?
Yeah.
You can settle?
Yes. From the other side, they arrange that the people come to our island, will maintain their benefits they have there for a while, and they will have voting rights within 90 days. Within 2 months, they have the voting rights. So we have to. Yeah,
I see.
We go in there. It's different. So
okay. All right. So what do the people of well, let's go back to Bonaire. What next? What is the situation there now in terms of a lobbying?
Lobbying?
What is it? What do you want now? You want independence. You want complete decolonization. Are you also calling for reparation?
Yes, we want what we want is to be released back in the United Nations on self-governing territories. That's what we think is same as Anguilla, Cayman Islands, Bermuda. There are several islands. For us, that is the most logical step in our trajectory toward decolonization because we are far behind in information, in awareness, in education on self-determination and that decolonization. So we have to go to the start, and we understood because we studied this. That we see that the only logical most that we can save our people at this point in time because we don't have a lot of times. We are being reduced to minority group on our island by 2030, and we are less than 1/3 of the percent. So we can go in the discussions of independence, things like that, because it will never happen with our people at this point in time. We only need now to have some kind of protection, international protection, because we cannot defend ourselves anymore democratically with rights. It's nothing. We have no power. So we're fighting now. We have our trajectory to be released back. So then the international community has the right, the legal right to help us to stabilize our situation. And
Okay.
self-governance will come again. We did just recently did international investigation that and report that is the self-government assessment that was made for us by the dependency studies, and that is recognized by the United Nations as an independent study, and that is what we will use now to prove that we need this protection from the United Nations. Otherwise, we will disappear. We will disappear as a nation, as a people.
Wow.
That will happen in the next 30 years easily. The next 10 years, in 2030, not 10 years, we will be less than 1/3 of the population. And we cannot stop it ourselves. We have no way to stop it. So
Okay.
this is a very serious matter for us.
Do you have any? Sorry, go ahead.
And we are the island more on the track because the other islands, they're not populating them like us. They're using us now for this particular thing. The other islands like Curacao and St. Martin and Aruba are bigger. They have big population, no? They have over about 100,000 people living. So that will take a lot of time for them to reach our point. We are already less than 10 years. For us, it will happen very quick. So that's why our situation, we want to just try to do it, most of our accounts in our own pace, because the other islands may have more time than us. We don't have the time more on our island.
I see.
Small island, Bonaire.
Well, I really want you to keep in touch. I do what I can at the UN. I have been asked to keep in touch with the trust and non-self-governing countries. But you're not on the list, so therefore it's difficult. What you can do is use what's at your disposal. For example, the Netherlands will come before the CERD, maybe next year. They should have come this year, but with COVID, a lot of things are topsy-turvy at the moment. And you're entitled, civil society is entitled to send an alternate report. And of course, we will ask about the situation in your country and what used to be the Netherlands Antilles. We will ask that because they have a responsibility to report on what's going on there. But it's very troubling to hear what's going on in Bonaire at the moment, and you know, it's a reversal. It's like a return of colonialism. It sounds like to me. Yeah. But keep fighting, my brother. And I have to wrap now. But thank you for talking on my program this morning. Let me say it again: talking history on Nationwide 90 FM. You need the visibility and an exposure of what's going on there. Thank you so much, James. Thank you.
Thank you too. Have a nice weekend.
You too.
Nice to speak to you.
All right. So that was Mr. James Finies, a human rights activist, former banker from Bonaire, and you have heard there the situation there.
To look at your history, you can't really be proud of yourself if you don't know your history.
Oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah.